Saudi Arabia has come out with a strongly worded statement. The kingdom says it reaffirms its unequivocal rejection of any infringement on the legitimate rights of the Palestinian people through Israeli settlement policies, land annexation or attempts to displace them. It also says the international community has a duty to alleviate the severe human suffering endured by the Palestinian people. The statement goes on to say Saudi Arabia emphasises its position is non-negotiable and not subject to compromises, and that achieving lasting peace is impossible without the Palestinian people obtaining their legitimate rights in accordance with international resolutions. We're going to bring in Hamdah Salhut now. She joins us from the Jordanian capital, Amman. Hamdah, Saudi Arabia there, making it extremely clear where it stands on all of this.
That's right. And in fact, last night, when Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was taking questions at that joint press conference, he said that, quote, the normalization with Saudi would come soon and that it would shock people. But he's speaking outside of reality, because Riyadh has been quite clear that until their main condition is met, until there's an establishment of a Palestinian state, at least a pathway to it, then that is not going to happen. And you have Netanyahu, who for the last year has been going around and proudly saying that he himself has prevented the establishment of a Palestinian state and would use the rest of his political career to block that very move. So it's a little bit difficult to tell exactly what's going to happen, but you have two completely different views here. On one hand, Netanyahu is saying that it is going to happen, and the Saudis saying that it's absolutely not going to happen until this one condition is met that Netanyahu says he is absolutely not going to do.
You're in Amman. What does all of this mean for Jordanians?
Well, look, Jordan's King Abdullah is set to go to the White House next week. He'll be the third world leader to visit U.S. President Donald Trump since he took office, and he's already expressed his disapproval for this plan of forcibly displacing Palestinians from Gaza and essentially amounting to ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian territory. So their meeting is sure to be fiery, because it's not only Jordan, it's other countries in the region. It's the entirety of the Arab League who has voiced its disapproval for previous statements that have been made by the new U.S. president, saying that Jordan is not going to absorb millions of Palestinians because the Gaza Strip is Palestinian land and it's their home. So we're actually going to be monitoring that meeting, waiting to see exactly what comes out of it.
And finally, what's been the reaction so far from within Israel?
This has been something the Israeli government has wanted, especially from the far right. They have wanted the ethnic cleansing of Palestinians. They've previously used the term voluntary migration to encourage Palestinians to leave the Gaza Strip, even though they have said they absolutely would not. So this morning, reaction pouring in from Netanyahu's government, praising this move, saying that it's a great move for Israel, saying that they could rebuild illegal settlements, saying that it's a new dawn of history for the Middle East. But there is no sort of empathy whatsoever for the Palestinian people, because as Trump's Middle East envoy has said, he said that a better life for the Palestinians is not necessarily tied to the land. And if you know anything about the region, if you know anything about the Israel-Palestinian conflict, it is absolutely tied to the land. So these statements and remarks from Israeli officials are also not really based in reality, but of course they are voicing support for this latest comment by President Trump.
OK, thank you so much for talking us through all of that, Hamdah. Hamdah Salhut for us there in Amman.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.